Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. And I have you guys on my action cam yet again because it is vlog time. I have realized that I have not done any vlog at all since last year, which is ridiculous. The last vlog I did was when my life just completely turned around and not in a good way. And so I want to get back into it, maybe have a positive feeling throughout this entire vlog. At least that's the hope. And so I figured, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do a vlog. And what I want to do on this one is a movie watching vlog, I guess. I don't have any idea how long it's going to take me to get through this, but what I want to do is kind of walk with you guys through my collection. I want to pick out a movie that, one, I think I will love. So whatever it is, I think that I will love it. So I think that I'm going to give it 4.5 or 5 stars. And then 2, pick out a movie that I think I'm going to hate. So I'm going to give it, I'm going to say 1.5 or less stars. And then finally, the third one, so this would be a 3 movie vlog. I want to pick one that I genuinely have no idea where I'm going to fall. So I'm going to pick out 3 movies. We're going to walk through, kind of talk through why I'm picking, what I'm picking, and go from there. And just see if I'm right or not. And obviously, it's just going to be like, I have to be honest about it once I watch it, whether I loved it, hated it, or somewhere in between. So that's the idea for today. I hope this works out the way I'm thinking it would. So I don't know. Let's give it a shot. Before we do though, if you have a quick second, please hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. But with that said, let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right in to my movie watching vlog. I guess I don't know what I'm calling this one yet, but let's get into it either way. All right, so I don't really know which way I'm going to go with this, but I figured I'm just going to look through my movies with you guys, pull some options, talk about them a little bit. So first one that catches my eye here is Brahms, The Boy 2. This is one that I think would fall somewhere in the middle. Like, I have no idea if I'm going to love this or hate it, but it very possibly could go either way. I really enjoyed the original, The Boy. I thought this movie was really well done. I liked it. I've seen it like 2 or 3 times now, and I've really enjoyed it. So I'm going to put Brahms, The Boy 2 on my maybe pile and keep looking. So here's another interesting one. Cannibal Ferox. I don't even know if I can show this. Let me take a look, make sure this cover is appropriate. Okay, yeah, it looks all right. So Cannibal Ferox, like, typically I don't like cannibal movies. I don't know what it is. Like, you'd think they'd be something I would enjoy. Well, maybe enjoy is the wrong word, but you'd think they'd be something I'd like. But honestly, I don't know that I've seen one that I've really loved. And so, I don't know. This could be an option for something that I will not like. So I'm going to put that into this pile over here. I guess I'll go like this. And then the one I like, I'll put in that pile. All right, let's keep working through here. I'm only on like the first shelf, but let's, I don't know why I'm looking only in horror right now, but I guess you got to start somewhere. Oh, here's another one. Grizzly 2. I've heard this is just atrocious. Oh man, look at that cast. George Clooney, Charlie Sheen, Laura Dern. All right, that's another option for one that I will hate. Actually, that is probably a better option than Cannibal Ferox, frankly. Here's another strong option for something kind of in the middle where I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. Ouija. This looks interesting to me. I remember not hearing a lot of really good things about it when it released, but since then it's actually gotten a Scream Factory 4K release, so maybe it is liked a little bit more. So I'm going to put that as a maybe option there with Brahms. So the lighting is terrible over here in my 4K collection, but another one that would be a really good candidate for my I'm not sure pile. Let me get in the light a little bit. This Candyman here, the remake. I love the original Candyman, but I've not seen this remake, and I've heard mixed things about it, so I don't know where I'll fall. So that's another strong candidate for the I'm not sure pile, so I'm going to put it with them. So I'm over here in my Scream Factory collection now, which I just did a full collection tour recently, so check that out if you're interested. But one that I mentioned in there that I have not yet seen, one of my original Scream Factory titles, is Terror Train, with Jamie Lee Curtis. This is one that I really think I might love. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. The premise to this is just interesting to me. So Terror Train's going to go into my potential love pile. All right, so now we're over in my Vinegar Syndrome section, and another one that I hope/think I'll really enjoy is Dolly, Dearest. I love movies like this with creepy dolls. Like, it's right up my alley. So this is another one that's going to be a strong candidate for a movie that I'm going to love. So I'll put that one in that pile. All right, I think I've displaced enough of my movies. So we have Dolly, Dearest and Terror Train as options for movies I think I'll love. Candyman, Ouija, and Brahms, The Boy 2 for ones that I'm really not sure about. And then Grizzly 2 and Cannibal Ferox for ones I think I'm going to hate. So I'm going to do Grizzly 2 for the one I think I'm going to hate. So I'm going to move that over here. For the one, I'm not sure, I'm going to come back to that. For the one I'm going to love, I'm going to do Dolly, Dearest because I love creepy doll movies. And then for this pile here, I think I'm going to go with, man, I'm not sure. I think let's go with Ouija. Just because I really don't know, and I'm very curious, especially because it does have a 4K release now. So Ouija is going to go into that kind of in the middle pile where I'm just not sure. All right, so now that I have all three picked out, again, Dolly, Dearest, I think I'm going to love. Ouija, I'm really not sure about. And then Grizzly 2, The Revenge, I think I'm just going to hate this one, but we shall see. So I think those will be three interesting movies to talk about as well. So after I watch each one, I will just check in with you guys and give you my thoughts on them and go from there. I'll give you a mini review, and of course, I will keep it spoiler free. So I'm not really sure which one I'm going to watch first, but let's get to watching one of these bad boys. All right, so it's actually a few days later already, and I've not gotten through anything yet, but I am about to sit down and watch something. I decided to start with Grizzly 2, The Revenge, and I literally just noticed this. Kind of a mark, I guess, or an omen of the quality to come. Take a look at the back here. Look at that. There are two barcodes, one printed over the other. How ridiculous is that? That just makes me laugh. I don't even remember who released this. Creature Ventures? I don't know what Creature Ventures is, but yeah, anyway, let's get this open. I figured I would pop it open just to see if there's anything interesting on the inside. I have very low expectations, but you never know. Let's see. Not a thing. Very standard, just the Blu-ray disc. Hey, at least there's only one barcode on the disc, so I guess that's a step up. But yeah, let's get this guy out of the package and into my player so we can watch Grizzly 2, The Revenge. And for reference, I have seen the original Grizzly. It has been a long time, but I have seen it. I don't think that's really going to make a difference whatsoever, though. All right, not a lot of options. Subtitles, on or off, and play film. So I guess we'll just play the film. All right, so the credits are rolling on Grizzly 2, and wow, what a movie. So I took like kind of a stupid amount of notes while I was watching this. I don't know really why I did that, but it struck me to do it, so I did. Like, this was such a jarring experience. So I didn't realize it coming into this, but this film was actually shot back in the early 1980s, finished in 1983, but never really completed. It was never released until in 2020, it was announced that it was completed, and of course, then it was released on Blu-ray. Well, because of that, they add in like all of this stock, like I'm looking at now, stock video, Shutterstock, iStock, Adobe Stock, Film Supply, like all this random stock footage is tossed in. Two things in particular. One, there are like these wilderness montages. And when the movie started, I thought, wow, this looks amazing. How is this from early 1980s? It's not. Like, it's digital film. Or frankly, I don't know if it's digital or film, but it looks digital versus the rest of the movie. All of these like wilderness montages where they're long And the music is absolutely absurd. It is so epic. It almost felt like, in fact, the entire movie, at points, the music feels like it's straight out. Like, thank you to the following YouTube channels for providing us with wonderful sound effects. That's absolutely amazing. I have the credits rolling in the background here. Like, that's hilarious. But anyway, so like, the music almost felt like it was from a Michael Bay trailer at points. Like, it was so over the top and just utterly absurd. And then the other point where that's very clearly stock footage is the concert scenes. Now, between the wilderness montages and the concert scenes, that adds so much to this runtime, which is still only like 74 minutes. But those moments alone make it a feature-length film. And it's so ridiculous because you see some of the concert footage from 1983. All these, it was shot in Hungary, and they're all wearing tons of jean jackets, jean everything, basically, because it was the early 80s. And then you go from jean jacket to Coachella. Like, the concerts that they were showing were very, very clearly modern audiences, modern, young millennial Gen Z audience members in the concert. And even some concert footage that they were showing was definitely not footage from the 1980s. And so that was so jarring. I wish they would have just kept that nonsense out and kept in the 1980s footage. Now, I think they could have gotten away with it and still had a cohesive film, but it wouldn't have been nearly as jarring as this was. That was so utterly ridiculous. That was the biggest thing to me. And then the ending. So I don't want to talk spoilers, but this is the type of movie where like that doesn't really matter. I don't think it's a Jaws knockoff. Like, what's going on here. And it is 100% a Jaws knockoff, much like the original Grizzly. This one, they are trying to throw this big concert, and they don't, but this Grizzly has killed some people, and they don't want to cancel the concert because then obviously they would lose on all that money. And so they're still going to run the concert, but they're going to try to hunt for this Grizzly. They even bring in like this outside character who has this history with Grizzlies. He's played by John Rhys Davies, and it is hysterical. He has this French accent. He has this French accent. He's a Frenchman, but then he's also like a Native American, or he's trying to like take on the Native American culture. It's just it is 100% absurd in every imaginable way. But like, I don't hate this movie. And so I'm going to say that I was wrong on this one. I don't hate this. This is a bad movie. By every measurable you can think of, Grizzly 2 Revenge is a terrible film. But I love the fact that I was able to watch this. Frankly, the transfer that they were able to do on the 1980s footage looked really good. So I was really impressed by the Blu-ray transfer on this. And the fact that I was watching Laura Dern, George Clooney, and Charlie Sheen in the opening scene of this film, that blew my mind with what I was expecting this film to be, which it is. It feels like a low-budget movie. The fact that I was watching those three, like, right before they all became much bigger names, like, that's cool. They don't last more than 5 minutes in this film, but it's still really cool to see them all together in one opening sequence. Like, that was awesome. And then there are a couple other, like John Rhys Davies, I already mentioned. There is another woman, Fletcher is her last name. I'm forgetting her first name. I have it written down. I don't feel like referencing it. But she's from like Flowers in the Attic. She's in Cruel Intentions as well. Well-known actress. So like, not everyone is an unknown, but most of the people in this film are unknown actors. And frankly, I think they do a pretty decent job. Outside of the poachers, there's these 4 poachers who are a part of this as well, who are trying to track this giant grizzly. Which, yes, it is gigantic. It's almost like kaiju level, like Godzilla-like. It is absolutely ridiculous. You never get like a full shot of the grizzly. You only get like its face, or you'll see a person standing next to it, and it's just massive in size. It is so ridiculous how they do that. But there is a little bit of gore effects in this. Not very much, but more than I was expecting to see. So I thought that was fun. Just the whole idea that this film exists makes me happy, because it shouldn't. It was a film that was forgotten by 1987, just completely, cast off. No one really should have seen it at that point. And then I think it was like in 2007, they said some footage of it surfaced online. And that's kind of what sparked this whole, to complete the film. And I just love that they did it, even though they use kind of stock footage that looks absolutely ridiculous. Like, I love that this film is now complete. And so, I don't know, I appreciate that this movie is here and that I own it on Blu-ray. It's not good. It's not good at all. I'm going to give it 1.5 stars. No, I'm going to give it 1 star. Like, this is a bad movie. So by measurable, I should say that I'm right, but I don't hate the movie. Just because I gave it 1 star doesn't mean you have to hate it. Like, I appreciate what it was trying to do, and it was fun to watch. And so, I'll give it that. Not a good one though. You're not going to want to watch it, most likely, if you're a normal human being. But if you're like me and enjoy bad movies every now and then, like, there's something to enjoy here. So it is what it is. Oh, that's the other thing I do want to mention is that, okay, 2 things. One, the camera work on this was surprisingly well done. Like, they had a crane that they were able to use for this, and they used it effectively. I thought they did a nice job. It made it feel like it was a little bit bigger than it was. That said, it did note that there was like a $7.5 million budget on this, which just blows my mind. But yeah, so that I compliment the camera work on this. I thought that was pretty well done for the most part. And then the other part, I Shazammed one of the songs because I was interested, like, is this a real song or not? So I used Shazam to see if it was. And what came up was like stock footage or stock sound effects for the crowd. It was like large concert crowd number 3 or something ridiculous like that was on Apple Music. So I thought that was hilarious. And then the last thing I have to talk about is the end is just completely out of nowhere. It's not like, I don't even know how we got to the ending. It's not even like the bears attacking the concert. It's more, there's this like accident almost at the end of the concert where the fireworks display goes awry. Things start catching on fire. The Grizzly is there. But like, it's just so absolutely ridiculous. This is a 1-star film. This is not good. I'm not saying go out and buy this movie. But if you can watch it and you like bad movies, like maybe you'll have a good time with it like I did. So I don't know. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, I didn't point out before, but we got a new puppy dog since the last vlog I did. She is a Cavalier King Charles, and she was born the exact same day as my son, so that was pretty cool. She's an absolute pain in the butt. She's crazy, but she's a lover, and she's super cute. That's not the best shot of her, because that's only her back, but yeah, her name is Xana, and let me know down below if you know what that's a reference to. Shout out to all the nerds out there. But yeah, so anyway, Grizzly 2 is done. And that was a trip. I'm saying I'm wrong. Even though I am giving it 1 star, I'm saying I'm wrong because I didn't hate this at all. Like, I just didn't. I should by every thing imaginable about this film, but I didn't. And so, yeah, we'll see if I'm right on the other one. I guess the one in the middle, I don't really know. Ouija, I have no idea if I'm going to like or hate that film, but I'm interested to see if I'm going to be right about the one I said I'd love, which, why is it escaping? Oh, Dolly, Dearest. That's the one I'm hoping I love. So we shall see. Let's get on to the next one though. All right. So I'm standing in my kitchen just to be somewhere else, basically. So I'm thinking today I'm going to watch Dolly, Dearest. So I am alone right now at home. So it's the perfect time to put on a horror movie. So hopefully this one will be pretty good. And actually this has some reversible cover art. So let me get in a different position so I can share that with you guys. All right. So this is probably a terrible angle, but anyway, this is a really nice release. So I do have this is of course Vinegar Syndrome, and I do have the slipcover edition. Has a nice front cover, and then the back looks really cool. So what I love about this though is if we open it up, we see it has the same cover art, but you can see the artwork on the discs on the inside. And what I always do with these, if there's a slipcover, is flip it around. That way there's different cover art than what's on the actual slipcover, which I always appreciate. So there it is. Actually, you know what? It's the same as the back of the slipcover. I didn't even realize that. I love it. But either way, I'm going with this one. So yeah, Dolly, Dearest. This one is, how long is this? 94 minutes from 1991. So we'll see if this one is any good or not. I'm hoping it's enjoyable. This is the one that I'm thinking I will love. So I'll be right if it's 4.5 stars or 5. Now, do I think it's going to be that? I don't know. I'm hoping, but we'll see. So I'm going to pop this guy on, and I'll let you guys know what my thoughts are after I'm done. All right, so Dolly Dearest is in the books, and I decided to come down here in front of my Vinegar Syndrome collection because it just felt right. So, yeah, basically with Dolly Dearest, we are following this family who they end up buying this plant in Mexico. It's the Dolly Dearest plant. It is obviously a doll manufacturing plant, and it happens to be right next door to like these ancient ruins. I can't remember the name of the like tribe or whatever it was, but anyway, at the beginning of the movie, there is like the archaeologists dig in and it unleashes this evil spirit that takes over, you guessed it, the dolls in the factory. And so that was one thing that kind of set this movie a little bit apart from something like Child's Play, is the fact that there are multiple dolls that are possessed. I thought that part was pretty cool. But I did find out that this was actually started as Child's Play 4, at least in marketing. And then it ended up switching over to Dolly Dearest. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But anyway, we follow this family. Of course, the little girl at the beginning wants one of the dolls, takes it home. It starts, being creepy and kind of like taking her over a little bit. And she becomes very territorial with it. It is exactly what you would expect for a movie like this. But I think it's done relatively well. What I really liked about it and appreciated about this was how well the special effects were done. I thought the creature or the doll effects, I thought actually looked really well done for, kind of a, I don't know if it's a low budget. I call it maybe a mid-budget early 90s horror film. And so I liked that aspect of it a lot. And like I said, there were multiple dolls, so that was just cool. Some of the kills in this I thought were pretty interesting, but I think my problem with the movie is that there were so many points in this where I was just thinking, I'm kind of bored. Like, I want something more to be happening right now. So you get these really cool moments in the film, but it's like in the middle of those cool moments are these kind of like longer, boring bits that I just didn't care as much about. And so overall, like, I enjoyed this one. I thought it was well done. It was good, but I didn't love it. I liked it. And so I was wrong on this one. So that makes, 0 for 2 now so far, which is fun. But yeah, like I said, I like movies like this. So I appreciate what Dolly Dearest was going for here. And Rip Torn is in this and he does a great job. He's one of our main, protagonists in this and he does a great job. But I mean, he always does, but it was really cool to see him in here. I didn't realize he was going to be in this. And then our main actress in this, like playing the mom, she also plays, Rachel Creed, I think is the name, from Pet Sematary. And she's in something else that I was looking it up earlier and I totally forget what it is now. But, a relatively well-known actress if you are a horror fan. And so that was cool to see her in this. Oh, Deep Impact was the other one that I just watched her in. She played, Elijah Wood's mom. Not Elijah Wood, Rachel Sobieski's mom in Deep Impact. If you guys know that one, I just did a review on that here on the channel. But yeah, so the children in this I thought were really well done also. The child actors I thought did a really strong job, which is super important in something like this because that can break or make your film. And I think they do well to kind of make it as opposed to ruining it. So that was really cool. I don't know, like it's a cool premise. It's just, I wish I felt less bored as I was going through it. So yeah, I liked it. I just didn't love it like I was hoping I would. So, I'm happy to own it in my collection, the Blu-ray. If you are a fan of this movie, the Scream Factory, or the Vinegar Syndrome Factory, the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, I should say, looks great. I think they did a wonderful job with it. So definitely a worthwhile pickup if you are a fan of this film. But yeah, so I'm going to give Dolly Dearest from 1991, I'm going to go ahead and give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think that's appropriate for what I watched here. So yeah, I now have to watch Ouija, which I just have no idea where I'm going to fall on that one. So we'll see if I like that one any better than Dolly Dearest. Maybe it'll end up being my favorite of the bunch from this I Watch 3 vlog. We shall see. But yeah, so I don't think I'm going to watch Ouija right now, just 'cause I'm not really in the mood. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably watch some wrestling, because that's kind of like what I've been doing lately. Especially, this is Memorial Day weekend when I'm filming, and it was just an amazing weekend for pro wrestling. So I'm probably going to go watch the main event of the third show that I didn't finish, and that is NXT Breakdown. So I'll probably go watch that now. But I'll be back with you guys in just a few minutes to talk about Ouija. Alright, so I'm actually down in my basement now. You can see my filming location behind me, and I'm watching on this TV down here instead of the one upstairs. So finally getting around to, where is it? Ouija. So let's see if this thing is any good or not. Right now the trailers are playing on mute, so we'll see if this one is any good. I will check in once it's done here. We'll see. Hopefully it's like scary. I don't know if it's going to be any scary at all, but I guess we'll see. Let's check it out. All right, so the credits are rolling on Ouija, and the biggest shocker to me on this one is the fact that this is 9 years old as of recording this. Like, that's insane to me. I never would have guessed that this came out in 2014. It does not feel like that long ago whatsoever, which is just nuts. And then, of course, the sequel, or the prequel, I guess, is probably what it is. It's called Origin of Evil, so I'm sure that's got to be a prequel, the second movie in this franchise. That one came out in 2016, so 2 years after this one. So, I mean, this is a horror movie in the vein of something like, it reminded me actually a lot of The Ring. There were some elements in there that reminded me of that, and The Ring does it 100 times better, I'll say that, but there were just some elements here that reminded me of it, you know, kind of that visit to like the insane asylum, finding out weird things as you go along. I don't know. The opening sequence felt similar. It's not at all like The Ring in reality. It just was, I don't know, gave me some vibes. But anyway, so we follow this group of high schoolers, and it's funny, as the opening was going on, I was watching these kids and I was like, man, please don't say this is set in high school. Please don't say it's high schoolers. Please don't say. And then, of course, you find out they're high schoolers, seniors in high school, but they're all like in their early to mid 20s, very clearly college-aged people playing these high school kids. But either way, that's neither here nor there. So anyway, in the opening sequence, one of the friends dies mysteriously, I guess, and they try to figure out, you know, what happened to her. And of course, a Ouija board is brought in because this is brought to you by Hasbro. And so, yeah, they use the Ouija board to communicate with their dead friend. And of course, evil things are unlocked from there. So this was one where, like, I can't call it like, okay, so I can't say it's predictable because it goes in just weird ways. Like it really goes for it. So I'll give the movie credit there. It really goes for like this kind of weird, crazy story that it's telling. But once those blocks start falling, I was able to like guess exactly what was going to happen next for the majority of the film. And I guess, you know, you could credit that to someone who watches a lot of horror movies, something like that. But still, I don't typically do that. But this one, it just felt very much like it was following those tropes of a supernatural horror film, for better or for worse. And I think that's, I don't know, like, it was very clearly like I don't want to give any spoilers away, so I guess I shouldn't say that, but just, I don't know, it was very evident, like, where things were going, and it didn't really stray from that path at all. So that was a little bit disappointing. I'll say our main actress, Olivia Cook, I believe, who plays our main character, like, people are just dying around her, and she's just trekking on, man. Like, no time for grieving. She's just got to keep going. It's so crazy. I'll admit, like, she's a lot more brave than I would be given the situation here, because she just keeps on moving, and it's nuts to me what she does here. But yeah, like, I don't know. I was disappointed because it felt like a movie where it could have been super legitimately creepy and scary, but it pulls back from it a lot, which was just disappointing as I was watching it. Like, the opening scene is a really good example of the type of horror you're going to get with this. So if you haven't seen this and you're just not sure if you'll like it, like, watch the first 10 minutes and that'll pretty much tell you if this is something you want to see, because it doesn't really pick up from there in terms of the scares. There are a couple of jump scares. Like, I jumped a couple times, but they were jump scares. So I know a lot of people don't like those. I like them. I don't have a problem with them, but that's really about it. Maybe like one or two genuinely creepy bits, but it could have just been so much more than what it ended up being. And so overall, I just didn't think it was as good as it really could have been. And it felt like a PG-13 horror movie. And I don't even like crapping on PG-13 horror movies. The Ring, I screamed multiple times during that movie when I watched it in theaters. That's a PG-13 horror movie, but it's terrifying to me. This one, though, it just doesn't know. There's the Hasbro Studios logo on the screen. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, it's just funny. So yeah, like it felt sanitized, I guess, is the best way to describe it. So that was just, I wanted this to be better than it was. I think the acting's fine. The characters, though they are high schoolers, they don't feel like high schoolers at all. Again, it feels like college kids. I didn't have a lot of the issues with these characters like I normally would with high school kids. I thought they were played pretty well. They felt more mature than we typically see, things like that. So that was good. But I don't know. Overall, it was disappointing, I guess. Like, it really, like, it could have been great and it just wasn't. I'm really surprised that this one recently got a 4K release from Scream Factory. But I guess if you think about it, like I said, it's 9 years old now. So I'm sure there's a group of people who are, Gen Zers, I guess, like 10 years younger than me, who probably have nostalgia for this movie now in 2023 because they watched it when they were in high school in 2014. Much like, I had nostalgia for movies like The Grudge because I watched that when I was in high school, or The Ring, things like that. And so I'm sure it's just, capitalizing on that nostalgia because it has been so long. But yeah, so I will watch the sequel to this. Or again, I think it's a prequel, but I'll watch the second movie in this franchise at some point. I do have it. I believe I have it sitting over there somewhere in my horror collection. But man, star rating, I'm a little bit torn. Like, it's not a bad movie. Lin Shaye is in it too, which I thought was really cool. Basically, a horror icon at this point also. But they don't do a lot with her. And again, everything that she was kind of doing, I could guess that was going to happen. So I don't know. I get, it just is what it is. So I guess I'm going to give this one, man, I don't even know. So I'll give Ouija 2.5 out of 5 stars. I guess that feels right for me because it's just mediocre and it could have been so much better than it ended up being. So yeah, I guess that's that one. So with that said, I guess I will lazily sit here and wrap up this vlog. It took me like 2 weeks to get through these 3 movies because I'm slow, but hopefully you guys like this. I was wrong on basically all 3 of them. Well, on the third one, I guess you can't say I was wrong on Ouija because I didn't know where it would fall. I was hoping I would like it, but I didn't really like it all that much. So I was wrong on the one I thought I would love, and I was wrong on the one I thought I would hate. So kind of in the middle on on all 3 of these, actually, I guess in the middle. So doesn't necessarily make for like the most interesting vlog, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it anyway. I actually have another idea for another vlog like this coming in the near future here. So hopefully you guys like this style of video. It's kind of just an excuse for me to watch some movies from my collection that I haven't seen yet. So I'll take any excuse to do that I can. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about the vlog down below. Let me know what you think about these 3 movies. Did you like them better than I did? Apparently, clearly somebody likes Ouija a lot more than I did. Otherwise, Scream Factory would not be doing a 4K release of it. But let me know what your thoughts are on this and anything else down in the comments below. I always appreciate any and all comments. So thank you guys so much for that support. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this one, please hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. And like I always say, I don't just talk movies. I talk all things media. Books, movies, video games, graphic novels, manga. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. And I want to encourage you to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time.